about 45.
Well, Dave and I can finish it up if you got to run.
You don't know everybody. Anyway.
We call this a soft opening.
So, what's that?
We call this a soft opening. We're recording.
Well, it's
That's fine.
that's fine. Bill's gonna leave here in about 2 minutes, so
We're
before he leaves.
No,
haven't even lit my cigar yet.
Well, take
Go
your time.
ahead, take
Mark
your time,
Twain.
light it.
Mark Twain. By the way, is that a good cigar? I mean, it's got good label.
Good cigars.
what era of pictures do we have today?
Welcome back to Remembering Tuscola. I'm David Porter. I'm here with Mike Carroll and Bill Englehart. So we should probably introduce ourselves. This pictures this week are sponsored by Elite Builders. And we don't have a ton of pictures this week, so that'll maybe help speed things up. So
What's that photo of you?
We'll have to leave early. What?
What's that photo of you in the back, real quick?
Well, that's me on a Black Hawk helicopter.
It looked like a chopper.
He was in the movie Black Hawk
No,
Down.
he was in Nam. He was a tail gunner in Nam.
The
Well, he's Afghanistan.
Oh,
yeah, I don't remember what the occasion was, but the National Guard took a picture and gave me that framed picture. It's got a little National Guard patch on it, and it's got a little tag underneath, says Black Hawk helicopter. And it seemed a little fancy, really. And
very nice picture. Looks like frame.
Well, after the movie Black Hawk Down,
Down.
I don't ride in Black Hawks.
well, at the time,
Especially with Mogadishu.
my
Good idea.
my cousin was the head of the Illinois National Guard, so that's probably why I got a fancy framed
He
Was
was
that-
on a program
Was that
once.
in your?
in your
No,
yeah.
Was that in your?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wonder how many years ago that was.
Was he on the program?
a program, yes.
Yeah, I think he was. I'll have to look that up.
Probably been a few years ago.
Looks like a Nicaraguan rapper.
You can tell by the look of the wrapper where
Color,
it was
color,
grown.
box press Nicaraguan.
I'll have to look that up.
It's not Connecticut.
Hey, did you get my email that I forwarded to you?
On,
A book review?
no, but you want me to do one?
Yeah. Let me look it up here.
Well, let me look.
Book review. Have you done another book?
Nope.
I'm going through their emails. I'm looking for them. When did you send it?
Early this morning.
Well, there you go. No, that's not the email.
Biography of Phil Deaver.
Oh yeah, by Gary Forster. I've already read it. Gary. It's called One Dog Barked, One Howled. Something, was that it?
Let's see. Yeah, one dog barked, the other howled. A meditation in several lives of a minor American writer.
Yeah. Forster was
Minor.
Well, it's very complicated. Forster and Deaver had a really weird
Relationship.
love-hate relationship. In fact, Forster just sent me an email. Here it is. Dave Porter, and yeah.
That's
to
one I
J-
forwarded.
Oh, okay. Forster calls himself now Jayshul.
Who?
Jayshul.
And what's that in reference to?
I think it's some kind of a Christian name or standard, but he told me it's published in Australia and they now have some American copies and their Amazon has a few, not a lot. And he announced he's heading off to Georgia, the state of Georgia in Eastern Europe, where he's going to be a teacher for a while. I said, that'll be fun. Here it is.
He'll live to be 100.
Here's a letter from Forster I got yesterday. From Jayshul Forster. Can you imagine? It's not Gary. If you remained interested, curious about the book, One Dog Barked, One Howled, my publisher now advises it's available in paperback in North America at Amazon, $30.75. By the way, I'm heading to Eastern Europe, country of Georgia, on the coast of the Black Sea, to take up a lectureship for the coming year. Should be exciting. All the best, Jeshua Forster. I actually read it last summer. He sent me a rough draft of it. It's I was very close to Danny, and we'd correspond all the time. And in one correspondence, he and Forster had it out. He said, "Don't, Forster's the devil. Don't mess with him," And then in the so the next correspondence says, "Well, Gary called me and I wasn't very friendly." So he's a great guy. He's a great guy. Yeah, you should. He's talented. Blah blah blah. So they had this love-hate relationship, which is amazing. But Gary's brilliant. If you really research on the internet on Gary, he's won the equivalent of Grammy Awards in Australia for his band. He's toured with Bill Monroe, Alison Krauss, and he's probably written 4 books. And he's a brilliant guy. And I told you he beat me in golf. He came up here and said he's taking up golf.
Yeah.
Guy Eagle too.
Well,
driver 5-iron and made a long putt. And he goes, "Is that good?" I made a birdie, and he made an eagle. So anyway, I think it's Gary's way of Phil died, and it's Gary's way of not letting it go. He wants to keep it going, but Phil's not here to counterpunch. So it's kind of laudatory on the one hand, and it's pretty intimate actually, of some life details. But I've read it. Yeah.
If Phil Deaver was a minor author, what does that make you and me?
You and I are what's called below the mud.
You're
below
you're a speck on the wall.
Phil Deaver won the Flannery O'Connor Award, a coveted award. He won the O. Henry Award. Those are 2 major awards. And I guess he was saying he wasn't John Updike or John Cheever. He wasn't a Pulitzer Prize guy. So I don't know what you'd call him. I've always aspired to write like Phil. I might even give up my rebound record for if I can win.
I'm not a minor author. I'm a minor son.
You and I, Dave, I remember at the Hall of Fame when I introduced Doug Carnine and Linda Matheny for my class. I said Linda Matheny was internationally famous from her gymnast, three Olympics, and a world-class instructor. Doug Carnine is nationally famous with his education research and attending internationally. I said myself, I'm famous in certain parts of Tuscola.
Mike Carroll is known everywhere from Tuscola to just north of Tuscola.
Oh, when I ran for judge, I lost Tuscola. That tells you something.
All right.
I won everywhere in the county, everywhere except Tuscola.
Tells you something.
A prophet is never welcome in his hometown. The Bible say that.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, Bill, jump in there. We know that guy.
That's Bill Miller.
With hair?
Yeah, that's old Wild Bill.
Well, I'll be darned.
Worked at DeKalb, retiree. I worked with him. Wore bib overalls, smoked a cigar.
Well, we had him
Didn't get
last
a
week.
speck of dirt.
We had Bill last week.
Well, maybe it's the same
He
picture.
wore a hat all the time. He lived across the street on he's Indiana Street, I think,
Built that house when he retired.
where it runs into Overton.
Took his profit sharing and built a new home.
Smoked cigars all the time.
You're not
Good.
starting out very well.
Huh?
You're not starting out very well.
I did.
That's not Bill Miller. Looks like
According to the envelope and several responses on Facebook, that is Lonnie Turner and his wife Ruth.
Ruth Turner.
I'll be darned.
When he died, she married Boyd Wiesner because Boyd's wife had passed away. Lived down on the corner across from Larry Bean. Mrs. Turner did. Huh. Well, it looked good.
Now that counts against Bill, doesn't it? Not me.
Yeah.
In our points.
Next picture.
Oh boy.
The shorter of the two looks familiar, but
Will we know these guys, David, if we,
I don't know. I didn't have names, but I've got a comment on online.
that tank,
Um,
what are they working on this thing at?
This is, I've got several pictures from this photo shoot. My envelopes are a little out of order.
Well, they're out at some Quonset hut and they deal with,
Mhm.
looks like heavy propane tanks or machinery.
Yeah,
under
this was,
pressure.
I think these pictures were taken for General Electric that put in some motors. This is at Murdoch Mine in 1955.
Wow.
Hmm.
And so I didn't have any names, but then Bill McCord says Snorf operated the elevator at Murdoch Mine. Max and Ron Snorf's dad. He's on the right in this photo.
You know Max Snorf,
No,
dated his daughter,
I don't.
Marlene Snorf. Did you
Marlene.
date Marlene?
I think Max was a supervisor and the other fellow looks like he was the worker.
Well, you notice Max doesn't have any grease on him.
I
He
noticed.
doesn't. And
He's
he's got a
supposed to be a whitehead.
cigarette.
Whitehead.
He's a white. He's
Yeah.
gonna blow the mine up with that cigarette.
Yeah. Well, they're up on top.
That's a
So
good place to be. Holy cow!
Jiminy.
so he just had several pictures from this envelope, and I thought, well, I should run a few of them because
Wonder what those batteries power. They have the machines that pump air down there. Is that
Voltage meters. They're doing a check, I think, isn't he?
is that what the air circulation system was critical down there, wasn't it? Didn't
Oh,
they-
yeah.
And they have to
Yeah.
pump air all the time down there,
Yeah.
circulate it.
Didn't
So,
let the parachute
these are
stop.
pictures that were probably never in the newspaper, and people have probably never seen if
Could be
they're taken for
proprietary.
the General Electric.
Yeah, some of these are. Yeah, is that a turbine that probably, is
Man,
that a huge turbine?
yeah. Think so.
Sending the air down.
There's some big equipment, whatever it is.
Got to keep it working down there so those guys can breathe. Almost looks like Panhandle's pump station out here.
I bet that thing
West
wasn't
of
made
town.
in China.
No,
Yeah, can't really read it very well. So there you go.
I bought a new toothbrush the other day,
yeah.
made in China.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We've talked about this store before. That's across the street from, I'm looking across the street there. Trying to read that.
Yeah, I am too.
Well,
We've talked about this last week.
I think the Goodrich tires must be assigned inside the window because if it was a reflection, it would be backwards like the other sign below it.
Yeah.
This was the Optimist Club's window, and we don't have an Optimist Club anymore, so the pessimist took over.
Pessimists always win, you know that?
Hmm.
If you're a pessimist, you'll eventually be right. There's
Pessimist.
Gary Bates, Beto.
I think you're
And
right.
Beto played in about 57, 59, 56, 57, 58, 59.
There's
And that's
a
Kitty.
Kish house.
That's Al Keish's house right behind him. Where the famous Kitty Kish lived. Gary
Mhm.
Bates, Beto.
That was just a random, wasn't even in the envelope, just a random negative.
His son wound up being one of our greats, and then his grandson, both of them wound up being great players. Now that looks familiar. 1940s, early 40s.
No, I bet that's 50s.
Well, we got to give at least a quarter point to Bill. It is 1952.
Got initials?
SD.
Dotson?
Nope.
That's not Sandy Decker.
No.
No.
Is that a relative of yours? Is that a Dallas?
No. Sue Dixon.
I'll be darned.
Sue Dixon, really?
Well,
Plummer Dixon's wife or daughter, I mean. Huh.
Chubb got it right. But Chubb's older than you guys.
well, Chubb's class of what, 55? He's about 10 years older.
Chubb was in my mom's class. He's same class as Sandy Decker.
55. Remember, I got the annual out last week and
Yeah.
showed you. That looks like a breen on the left, like a Patty Breen, but
Is that Simpson?
could be
Nellie. What's his name?
Nelson Simpson, and married a breen girl. But
yeah, that's a breen.
it looks like a Patty, but I'm not sure. What you got here?
Gene and Phyllis Hill.
Well, we did. Oh, it's close.
How we doing?
Hill.
You are not doing great so far.
I always heard.
Well, what was Phyllis's maiden name? Still could be a breen.
Could be.
Looked like one of the breen girls.
We'll get to some that you know, maybe. Well, you know,
Cool.
We're definitely going to guess.
we
I
got
do have a quarter point.
you do have a quarter point. That's true.
Yeah, but he lost a point on Bill Miller, so he's negative 3/4.
Well, that's true too.
I think that was the house next to the Catholic church they tore down and built
I think you're right.
the current whatever you call a place where the Catholic priest stays,
Rectory.
rectory, if that's the correct word.
I thought that looked like the church that's catty corner from the courthouse. On the other
Well,
side, on the north.
I
don't know.
let me get the I've got our thing here in the way. Let me see if I can raise it up.
This is 1954, and the envelope just says F.H. Jones Lumber.
Well, that could be just north of the old First Christian Church.
It says Hume's house.
Which church that more look like, Bill, the Catholic or the one across from the northeast from the courthouse?
Well, it looks like the Catholic has a swing around, but maybe that is the.
Yeah.
Well, it could be the Catholic Church. I don't know. Just
I think it's Catholic Church.
But those are Scotch pines out front for a quarter point.
okay. Now you're gonna get this one because we had this person before.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything to Bill and I.
We can give her a different name.
Give us initials again.
Pretty girl.
SD.
Sue Dixon again.
Sue Dixon again, 1953.
How many points do I get since we saw her before?
Well,
3/4?
I was gonna say a half, but you know,
I'll tell you what, he just stingy with me.
Well, I noticed.
Gives you a quarter.
okay. Well, here comes one of those iconic photos.
Okay.
Oh boy. I love it.
I do too.
Russell, what's his first name?
Well, you think that's his last name?
Russ Barbie? Is that a Barbie?
I don't think the RB has anything to do with who's in the
No, but it
picture.
looks like a Barbie.
I don't know what the RB was on the negative, but it's got nothing.
It's his initials, and we'll nail it.
His initials RW.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Williamson, Weaver, Wax, Waymire.
Whack-a-mole,
I got them all.
Wozniacki.
Who is it?
Poppy Moody's father,
Oh,
Raymond Waters.
Wow.
I'll be darned. Never knew him.
I wonder if she has a copy of that picture.
That's a beautiful picture.
She says he was the father of 8 children. She was the 8th. Never was around much as he lived in Arcola and drove a truck for Smith Brothers. My mother was a fantastic woman who mastered everything. She played the piano well, sewed her clothes, kept a very immaculate home. And Deidre Moody Williams says, I've never seen this picture before, but scrolling through, I knew it was him at the eye line, even before getting to his entire face.
Huh.
And
Smith
Toppy
Brothers,
said she
right?
has never seen this photo before either.
Amazing, amazing, these fantastic photos. And
Yeah.
wonder what he took them for. If he was he compiling going to do a book on the kind of a Dust Bowl book from Oklahoma for Tuscola in the mid 40s and 50s?
I don't know, but that's a cool picture.
It
What,
is.
that's Bruce Williams there.
Bruce Williams ran the Dewdrop Inn, later Williams Grocery. Later, she was elected sheriff one time, Douglas County Sheriff.
Yeah, the late 30s and the early 40s, he was sheriff.
Probably
Douglas
one of the
County.
most beloved guys in Tuscola, would you say? He and his wife.
Oh, I really like
During
Bruce.
the Bruce Swihart from Pasodum, they were so poor back in the late Depression era. He was some Tuscola family raised him for a while. Went to school here for a year or two. A lot of people say that Bruce kept people alive during the Depression and in World War II. My parents had a charge account there. We'd go buy groceries, and they had a little bitty pad, and they would write everything down manually. You know, if you had a lot of groceries, take 2 or 3 pads. Take forever to check out.
They said when he left the store or whatever, they said they had a stack of
I think
IOUs to the store.
his daughter was Mrs. McCumber. When Dwight McCumber's wife was his daughter. Estimated they wrote about $80,000 or more in unpaid bills. But Bruce had a heart of gold. Kept a lot of people.
I believe that Bruce Weatherford is named for him.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Bruce went coon hunting with his uncle.
Yeah.
And I'd say Marty Nutt summed it up for everybody. He says, this man done right for everyone.
Yes,
You know
sir.
who Marty Nutt is?
That's Marty Durnell.
Yeah.
That's Chuck
Chuck's
Durnell,
sister.
Chuck's sister. Great shot. Great shot of Bruce as a younger man. Yeah, Bruce was his dad worked for Bruce, meat cutter,
Al Weatherford.
Al Weatherford.
Get close up here. Well, the little boy's got some curly hair.
Yeah. Got initials on the guy
Well,
or gal?
This one's a little different. The envelope, this is 1952. And the envelope says Gene Trimble Group. Taken at wedding. So I don't know if that was.
He had a lot of Newman guys. Gene was Newman guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's Newman. And you know, that little boy, that Trimble, Dana Trimble, who's on the Parkland board, that might be him.
The 50s, could be.
52, little boy.
But that's from the Gene Trimble. Is that Gene himself?
I think possibly it is. Good musician, played a lot of I'll bet money that's Dana Trimble, the baby, the boy, little boy.
How much money?
Huh?
How about 10 points?
How about 10 points, David?
You haven't got 10 points to gamble today.
Right.
By quarter point.
Maybe you'll get them.
He's trying to climb out of the hole.
Oh, okay. I'm going to loan Bill 10 points.
That's you on the end, isn't it?
That is me on the right-hand side.
I got points. Can I?
You got 10 points just for that, Bill.
Right.
Right to left is Mike Carroll. Is that Max?
Kenny Ring.
Is that Max Albritton?
And then
Second one?
yeah, no, that's Kenny Ring.
No.
Then that's
Jerry.
Gary Ring. That looks like Ronnie Gokin.
Kleiss.
Don't know.
That's Carlos Kleiss. This is Larry Ring. This is Jake Lindsay,
Jake
Connor, Berlin Lewis,
and
and
Hop.
Hop. This was
A church group.
well, Hop and I went to the Baptist church, but I think this is, I coached baseball a couple years for Babe Ruth League, and I'm wondering if this is Babe Ruth team I coached. I know Berlin Lewis played for him. I remember Berlin. I remember Jake. Berlin was a heck of an athlete.
Yeah, strong as a bull.
I'm trying to see where this was taken at.
Well, that's what I was trying to look at.
Can you back up the picture a little bit? Make it, can you make the picture? There you go. Keep going. Okay, that,
Okay, put this one
you know
out of
what?
the way.
This house is,
They've replaced the front window wherever it is.
yeah.
Joy Doherty says, looks like the Connor mobile in the back.
Yeah, this has to be about,
Always full of kids.
this has to be about 67, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that thing, that's bigger than a hearse.
Yeah.
Does it have a year on it?
This was in an envelope that had no markings.
Well, I coached a lot of those guys and I came back from Milliken that summer. Notice I had hair. I just want to notice, I want people to know I did have hair. Zero in on my hair there.
Zero in on your hair.
Yeah, can you zero on my
I've
hair?
written in the comments.
Bush in the back.
That's the bush. Look at that hair.
Oh, look at that hair. He's got it slicked down, parted
Yeah,
over.
Yeah, that is Kenny.
That's Kenny Ring.
I think that's that baseball we coached, but I don't know where they took that picture.
Well, when I saw the 69 TCHS, I knew you would maybe get this.
Yeah, but I think this is like 67. I think that was when he graduated at 69. One of those advanced shirts.
So lots of comments on
Who the kids are.
Anybody recognize me?
one person recognized you. I don't know. Let's see. I'm reading Jim Irwin's comments. Says incidentally, their 55th class reunion will be Friday and Saturday, October 4th through 5th. At Tuscola 40 Martyrs Catholic Church, 6:30 p.m. The Parish Hall, 201 East Van Allen. So you can check that out. Did you get everybody in the picture? Did you name everybody?
The shortest guy there we did in front of Larry Ring.
Well, okay. Well, Kevin Connor says he's not sure who's in front of Larry.
That's Carlos Kleiss. I think you're right about Ronnie Gokin, Jerry Ring, Jake Leonard.
Jerry Hall says that's Steve Connor in front of Larry and
No,
Gary Lee next to Mark.
That is, I do think that is Steve Connor. That's good. Good guess. Steve
So-
was, that's Hop Connor. There's Jimmy, his oldest boy, and Steve was, I think, his youngest son. Hop looked pretty good there, didn't he?
Yeah.
We all look pretty good, still alive.
Yeah, you look real good.
Yeah. Oh boy, is this the old
Grocery.
Gravitier or Eisner? Gravitier?
This one also was in that envelope that wasn't marked. I thought it was, to me, it looked like the old IGA, but Becky Barnes Hollinsby says, grab it here, question mark.
I think it's Gravitier down on the corner,
Could have been grab it here.
Where the exercise place is.
the exercise place. But it looks like Furco's IGA also a little bit. Looks like all of them.
Yeah,
look-
I mean, it looks like an old grocery store.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like Furco's.
Furco's had those windows up on top like that looking out
And
where the museum's at. Clarence Furco and Francis, was that her name? Furco?
Francis. My goodness.
Jim Chaplin, we both love him to death.
Boy, oh boy, that's John Harris, I believe.
John, is it John or Joe? John?
Kind of looks like John.
Bill and I just can't, Jim Chaplin's the only child. His mom worked out at the
School, she
high
was
school
cook.
cook. I don't know where his dad worked. They're buried out here in Tuscola Cemetery.
Jim was my 8th grade teacher.
Jim coached me in the Cardinal Little League baseball.
You know, that may be Joe.
He Jim drove
Kevin
a
Connor says it's Joe Harris and Greg Lindsay.
yeah. Greg's in the back. That's Greg in the back. See with the cap on.
Termite.
Termites in the back.
Yeah, Marcy Shoemaker says that honorary termite Greg Lindsay in back.
Yeah.
Jim Chaplin was drove like a 50 black Ford. We're out of practice one day and he's about 20 minutes late. Pretty soon we saw this car barreling down there going about 50 miles an hour. He got out and said, "I'm sorry, guys, I got stopped for speeding." I said, "Well, you were just now speeding." He said, "Yeah, I was trying to make up for it." He went on, just a wonderful, wonderful guy, went on to become he was in special ed up near Rockford. Then he wound up being a principal, didn't he?
He was a principal over a gifted school.
Freeport
Yeah.
Akron, maybe, or
Yeah,
something.
he was, I really liked him.
Did
Top
you have
guy.
the little boy in the front?
You suppose that's Brian?
Looks like a Harris.
It would not be Brian.
Yep.
Karen Hayford says it's Chris Harris.
Chris. Possibly.
Is that a Ford Falcon there?
I don't know Chris Harris, so I don't know. But you know, when do you think this other picture was taken? That right here.
I think 67.
Well, if these were all from the same year, Brian wouldn't be more than 3 years old. So this boy's older.
Mhm.
There's Dean. I mean,
Oh, the farm man.
farm manager.
Bateman, Dale Bateman.
Dale Bateman.
Dale Bateman, point for Bill.
Yes,
I call him Dean.
close.
I got the D right.
Yeah, it's close.
Is that Roy Snyder standing in the back middle?
No. This is before Roy Snyder.
This looks like a 4-H event. So
He may have had area guys come in. I don't know. That's the new hybrid corn that grew about a foot high.
yeah.
Reading Club rules. This is in the basement of the library, Tuscola. And that sure looks like right there above the teacher's dress is Murray, isn't it?
Looks like it.
Chris Murray.
If this is still 67, though, these kids were.
Bill, I'm going to give you 10 points for that one.
Hear that?
Hey, I picked out Bruce Parmenter and I didn't get anything last week. Nobody.
This is just a head poking above in the background.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I got it.
he got it.
Also, I mean, it's in the basement of the library.
What's her first name? I
Chris.
He said Chris.
Yeah. I got it. Free and clear.
Dave's like that.
I think I'm way
Dave's like
ahead.
that damn Trump judge, just rules everything in your favor.
I got to give him enough points in case he loses his bet to you.
Yeah, there you go.
There's Don Belts and Maureen Deaver and Dr. Burns and
Elmer Skinner.
Elmer Skinner. So I get 30 and Bill gets 10.
And Maureen was
Miss Tuscola.
Miss Tuscola.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to have to give the 40 points to Mike. Bill kind of cut you off while you were on your list.
You know what? That is rude. And I appreciate you showing that you're not totally biased for Bill. And if Judge Mershon was fair, he'd give a directed verdict of not guilty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maureen's a beautiful girl, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. And still beautiful in heart, too. Okay, there's a lumber yard way back there.
Yeah.
Now, who are these little guys? I bet we've got some names on these, don't we?
Well, I've got one.
Steve Murphy on the left.
Steve Murphy on the left.
Yeah. I get that.
You got it.
That's got to be 80 points. Nobody in the world would get Steve Murphy on the left.
I don't
Let's
think
not push it.
Okay, 60.
that's Loretta's boy.
Loretta's boy, Loretta Murphy.
I get a point for
Loretta
just knowing
Hilligoss.
who his mother is.
Loretta Hilligoss. Well, she's my cousin.
Well,
you don't think I know her?
you didn't say anything about her.
Married Pete Murphy from Arcola.
Yeah.
Passed away a couple years ago. She's buried out next to Dean and Dorothy right here in the cemetery. Jimmy's on the other side.
Was that at your mother's funeral that her dog kept barking?
Yes, my mother's funeral. My mother's funeral, David, not to draw this out too long. Evidently, my cousin Mickey McGuire, Mickey Suits, Loretta called from Texas, where she lived down near Friendswood and near Houston, and was very close to my mother. My mother really liked Loretta. Couldn't come, so they put her on some kind of speakerphone thing, and the minister's up there talking about God and mom going to heaven. About then, a dog starts barking like crazy. And it was Loretta's dog. Evidently, it was a two-way communication thing. She wasn't just listening, you could hear her. So quite a deal. Nice, great picture of Mark. Steve. Mark's still alive here in Tuscola. Looks like Bierman there, but it's not.
Tim Bierman, no.
There's
There
dry
aren't
gas.
names, but we got-
H. Ray Warren,
You ever have dry gas?
I guess. Oh, me. I better laugh about something.
Yeah,
pet parade, but
that's when Smith
show
Shoes.
some of the old businesses downtown.
That's when Smith Shoes was on the south side of the
Yeah.
street before he moved over with his brother on the north side.
Look at the way the elevator was back then. That's one of the little curios. There's our parking meters.
Yeah. I don't know who the guy is.
I don't know who the guy
Brady?
is.
There was when the Hells Angels came to
Came
town.
to Tuscola.
Is that your house, Bill?
No, you know where that is? That's
Oh, that's your
there's
house?
this
That's
is
your-
Carol. No, that's Carol Beals's house right now. There's Kelsey's in the
Oh,
background.
okay, you're right.
See the elevator?
Yeah, and this over here is where
Yeah.
Danita,
Yeah,
what's her
lives.
current name?
Lust.
Lust. Lust lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
This is,
Pembroke
they're
Street-
looking from the church,
Pembroke
front
Street,
of the church.
Pembroke
looking
Street,
right.
heading east, right across from the Congregational Church. I'm trying to see.
You know what?
Who's that one guy we should,
Albert Shields used to ride in this.
well, I'm not seeing him.
Well, I thought maybe he was on that front bike. But
I never
maybe
saw him
not.
with a helmet on though. Those are all Harleys. Looks like electric glides, big ones. Look like California chips.
Barb Clark.
Marcola.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's
wonder-
inside.
Looks
she's
like
in-
it's got a camper or something.
Yeah, yeah. She was a real clean freak. They go on trips and she had.
Well, do we, but who do you get any comments on that?
No,
Okay, it may not be Barb. She married Russ Long, remember? Years
Yeah.
ago. I mean,
Yeah,
long time ago.
yeah. I work with Russ at Panhandle.
Bonnie's sister, Jan Tay's sister. And I say that, sir, it may not be.
Well, this is going to be a head. Let me think where we're at here. Are we out at USI?
No, I don't think so. I think this is when they were flushing out your septic tank.
Well, they had to bring in something from Asia, I know, bring it over on a boat. Yeah, the power pump. That's what they use that thing over the coal mine. That turbine got half of it out.
I'm not sure, but it was it was along with this
That's
photo.
that's the hospital, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a hospital.
Yeah.
Well, this might have been building the new hospital for
I
Pat.
wonder, well, I'm looking at that house across the street, trying to figure out where that house is. It looks like a cornfield. This looks like it's out at the park. See that cornfield out there?
Mhm.
Isn't that a field out there? Maybe
That's
not.
that parking lot, maybe.
Well, here's another house over here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see where
House
that,
here and the house here.
Beside the Grimm, is that the Grimm house?
you know what, they could be pointing. Yeah, that could be pointing west or it could be pointing,
I think it's pointing west. If it's pointing east, it'd be pointing back to Harry Page
could
and
be the railroad track
Mrs.
thing.
Owens' house, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, but
Yeah, because here you see a train right here.
yeah. Was the hospital shaped like that? Is that the back of the hospital?
Well, you would tear down the hospital before you started doing something.
Well, they kept that one wing. They kept the wing on the north, where people sit on the porch to recover.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There he
Kahneman's
is.
Furniture.
There he is. He weighed 8 tons when they took that picture.
Bob Kahneman.
Now, Bob was a showman. Bob was there. He is going to roll an 8-ton roller over his mattress.
Bob's got a pipe in his mouth.
Bob used to smoke a pipe. That was the
Tortured.
Coilon torture
Yeah.
test. And he's going to run that. He's going to run that thing over there. And
Where was this building?
well, that's the True Value. That's Higgins's building. That's the
Where-
west. That's Four Seasons.
In the podcast.
Right, okay, that's what I thought it looked like, but I guess I didn't remember it being anything. I thought it was built as Four Seasons, but apparently it was
No.
already there.
Well, Kahneman was there first. And then Four Seasons came later
Mhm.
and tacked on to Kahneman's. And was Kahneman's a Quonset hut roof or was it a flat roof?
I thought it was flat.
Could have been. But Bob was quite a businessman.
Well, it's just a wonderful family
Wonderful family.
operation,
Everybody
and
supported them locally.
They had good quality furniture,
Yeah.
and that's back before big box stores. They did well. Boy, he was a good golfer.
And that's Jack Wellens on the left. They call him Fat Jack. And that looks like
Cadillac, Chevy.
that's a Chevy, and on the right, a Ford. Looks like about a 65, 66, 64, 56 Ford. Try to see where that's Center Street, and they're measuring the skid marks. Up on the north end of town. Oh boy.
This is,
Outside the theater.
this is one of my favorite pictures from this group because you see the theater that we don't have a lot of pictures of the theater.
Well, whenever I see the movie The Last Picture Show by Peter Bogdanovich, I think of the Strand.
Mhm.
When the movie house closed down in this little town of Texas, the town kind of folded. The Strand was a really huge cultural center.
This is what some kid movie, and all the kids were there, obviously, to line up
This
to go.
big
to the
old-fashioned
movie.
hat we used to
The
wear,
old, yeah.
leather with
yeah,
a snap.
Yeah,
Pretty stylish.
this area right in here is where my office is now, part of our office.
Very special.
I used to even go down there Wednesday nights as a young kid. ABC, Keith Tingley, ABC featured travel logs where a guy would come travel Mexico and Africa. It's where you learned about the world at the Strand.
Well, hey, Bill, on that construction picture, what did you think they were doing to Mike's house? Cleaning out the
septic tank.
Septic tank.
Yeah, well, you got ahead of yourself. That was in this picture.
Oh,
Well, I guess so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And that's Mike digging out
Yeah.
something out of the,
I've been accused of being full of it, but man, that's a heck of a sewer opening. Was that the safety thing you went down in? And that's just amazing.
You know what?
That's amazing.
That's on the north end of the hospital, because that house.
that's
there
looking-
is
that's looking
Burns'
west.
house. Yes,
That's
looking
looking
to the west.
Yeah,
northwest.
yeah. Those houses behind it are houses, that's almost on the corner right there. It's almost
Mhm.
North Line Road
Yeah.
out there.
It is almost.
Looks like Denny Dietrich, maybe on the left, talking to Harry Connor.
That's Harry Connor,
Harry Connor, German. Harry
Harry
German.
German. I think they're at a ball game.
Yeah. Harry was really into baseball, coached Little League and
Yeah.
then coached
No better than Harry. I like him a
Babe
lot.
Ruth League. Great guy. Good Baptist church member.
I think Mike's starting to overtake you, Bill, in points.
Well, give me another one. I've got
Who
about
did we get? Did we get Denny and
I've got about 2 minutes.
is that Harry? Did we get Harry German right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Back,
think so.
second one in.
Mark Side,
Mark Sype, Bobby
Bobby
Sini.
Cini,
That's
O'Brien.
no, not O'Brien.
There's his
Lyons,
Lyons. There's cousins.
Lyons.
There's his cousin
Ferris,
Nick Ferris. There's
Berlin
there's
Lewis.
Berlin Lewis.
Who's that coach?
This is my team.
Well, where are you?
Well, I don't know. Phil Deaver and I coached him one year. Lower left is that a Bats?
Don't know.
And then a Mayer, Gary
Yeah,
Mayer,
Gary
Tommy
Mayer.
Harris,
Tom Harris, don't know.
Clarkson, who passed away.
Oh, yeah, then Gerald Clarkson with Jake Lindsay.
Yeah, and
Tingley.
well, there's Lyle, Paul, and Alex. That's
Alex.
Lyle. That's
You
Lyle.
think it is Lyle?
That's Lyle. I coached that team. Tommy Harris was catcher, first baseman. Berlin was a left fielder, could pitch sometimes. Gerald Clarkson, just the sweetest kid, died early. Ferris was a great pitcher, great baseball player.
Yeah, Daryl's got a lot of the names. Tom Harris, Eric Knapp, Gerald Clarkson, Jack Lindsay, Paul Tingley, Mark Sype, Bob Cini, Steve Lyons himself, Berlin Lewis, and Coach Larry Brown.
I thought Paul was the youngest.
Larry
I think that's,
Brown.
I think that's Lyle Tingley. I think Paul was the youngest. So I'm going to challenge that.
Yeah, you're going to challenge
I
Daryl.
think it's Lyle and not Paul.
Well,
Daryl watches the program, so maybe we'll hear from him.
Daryl, we got you right.
Hmm.
And I did call you a great baseball player. He's a great pitcher.
Just
Very,
an
very
all-around
good
good guy.
Great guy. You don't find him any better than Daryl. Well, that looks like Denny Dietrich on the right.
must have
And-
been an accident.
Yeah. Is that Daryl Ford
Can't tell.
with his foot on the fence?
I think they were doing a controlled burn, a practice on a barn.
Back in those days, they let him do that.
Yeah.
They don't let him do
I
controlled
got
burns.
some other pictures from that event, so,
Okay,
but apparently they're not in order.
Bill,
I hate to rush, but I've got to go.
you got to go.
Yeah. How many points was I ahead?
Well, you're neck and neck. I'll have to tally them up and report
Oh,
back.
gee. Well, with me leaving, I'm sure now we'll probably accumulate point
many more you got,
after
David?
points after points.
How many more do I have? Well, let me take a look here.
Just speed through them real quick. We'll just do a Rosarch test.
You want me to just speed through them?
Yeah, we do. If we don't get them in 5 seconds, it's over. Bob Kahneman. Oh, that's a little faster than we thought. You can go back. Can you go back just a little bit?
Okay, I've got Christine.
No, let's go back a
Larry
little bit.
Christine.
Okay, now go a little slower. Bob Kahneman.
Bob Kahneman.
Said, look, that and Warren Smith. It looks like
Driving the car is Tracy Carpenter.
that's a Smith.
That's Smith over there. Okay.
Next one.
Next one.
Hi, back. That's a
Controlled burn.
Controlled burn. Next one.
That's
That is,
Mike.
that's me.
Yeah.
There's maybe the barn before it was burned.
Mel Pooch.
Those were really
Yeah.
prominent signs painted.
There's Keith Tingley,
Keith Tingley,
national president
ABC.
of ABC.
Yeah, ABC Club.
There is
Don't know.
Hall, taught English.
This is across the street from Ben Franklin.
Dr. Lossman,
Mr. Hawkins, Claude Hawkins, and Garland Stroll.
Jack Wellens,
Bill Roach.
Bill Roach. Oh, here we got this. There's
Linda Brown.
Linda Brown on the right. Betty Carlson.
That's Betty Carlson.
That's okay. Betty Carlson, Albin on the left.
Yeah, Nancy.
And this is
Nancy Alexander on the left. That's Lynette Asheville.
And the far right is
I don't know. Looks familiar, but it's Peggy Weber.
Peggy Weber, I think. Looks like a Larry Cursine.
Larry Cursine. Don't know.
Don't know.
Let's see if I got anything on that one. Nope. And then you got the old FMB building.
Right.
Yeah.
Just left of it, I think used to be Paige and Nancy Harris had a florist shop there. Have a safe drive to Peoria.
Was it a tie?
No, I was up I got 40 points on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Bill won. I got to keep Bill in the game.
David, I enjoyed it, and I'm sorry I have to run.
All right.
Like
We'll
gotta
see
jump
you
in.
next week, if not before.
That's true.
Mac's going to jump in
I'm
here.
not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I don't know anybody.
Well, we're done. We're just going to talk now.
Yeah, they're just gonna talk. You jump
Come
in.
on over.
Matt.
Is he off the air?
I'm
No,
on my
come on
way.
over. I can't just talk to myself. David, I'm trying to get my wife here. We're gonna.
He doesn't want to talk to me, Becky.
Hey, dig up my old photo, David. We'll show Becky that photo. Bye, Bill.
Which photo is that?
Out by the car with Kenny Ring and all the players.
Nice picture of Wayne Beaver. Have fun.
I'll see if Becky can recognize me.
Did I go too far?
No, keep going. There you go.
There we
You
go.
recognize anybody here, Beck?
I don't know.
Hop Connor.
Oh, there you are on the end.
You recognize me?
Yeah.
I had hair then. That's Berlin Lewis, Jimmy Connor, Jake Lindsay, Larry Ring,
Oh my gosh.
Steve Connor, Mark Kleiss, I think it's Ronnie Gokin, Gary Ring, Kenny Ring,
And
and me.
You're tall.
And I had hair. I just wanted
Yeah.
to notice I had
Yeah.
hair.
I remember from high school. Yeah.
He was tall, dark, and tall.
Tall, dark, and tall. Go forward to Kahneman there. See if she recognizes Bob. Well, of course, I've already, Jimmy Chaplin.
Yeah. So there's only one person in the picture, and he wants to know if you
Here,
can
go backwards to Maureen. Go backwards to
Oh, I
Maureen.
want to see the picture of Maureen.
Go backwards here to one more. And there you go.
Oh, yeah, she looks great.
Mr. Belts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay,
Always a pretty woman.
go forward to Bob. There's Bob. Bob's rolling his
Oh, yeah.
8 tons over his mattress.
Oh,
We need to go get those mattresses.
yeah.
That's the Koilon test. Why do they still sell Koilon mattresses?
Oh, looked like somebody had an accident.
That's when the kids all took
Yeah.
their bills. They'll go backwards here.
a line from the movie Stand By Me. Looks like your mom's been out driving again.
Go two backwards, Dave. Bill, one more. Where was the one? Go forward then. Stop, go
Oh,
back one.
back to the kids.
Bill said they were cleaning out my septic tank.
Oh,
That was kind of mean. wasn't it?
yeah, it was.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
keep on.
Downtown.
We didn't recognize anybody. It's about 67.
Yeah, everybody looks young.
I coached those guys one year. Don't know them.
Here he is again.
There's good old Bob. There's Mr. Smith,
This old fashioned days. or
Warren's
something.
brother, John Smith, and Tracy Carpenter driving the car, old fashioned days.
I wanted to catch back up online. Just in case,
Blow that up a little bit. That's John Smith, Tracy Carpenter, and I'm trying to figure out who else that is.
Go ahead.
Looks like Pat Flock, but I don't know.
well, let me see what comments are online. We got, Margie Stevens says, my mom's standing. Danny Matthews says, Tracy Carpenter at wheel. Dorothy Feeler, yes, our mom's standing by the car. I can remember when she made that dress for old fashioned days. She said it was so hot. And just a reminder for people, when you are helping identify the pictures, just saying my mom doesn't tell the rest of us who that is.
Yeah, that's her mom.
Yeah.
Who's cranking? I say it's John Smith, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's Mr. Sheneman or somebody.
Cool car though.
It is.
And we had the controlled burn, and
Old burn of a barn out in the country back when they
Wow.
used to do those kind of things. And
these negatives were together, so I thought I'd just run them together.
yeah,
And there's Mike not feeling well on Halloween.
that's looking, by the way, looking north. That's on the South Ward School.
Mm-hmm.
And that's looking back at the old Tuscola lumber
Oh,
yard,
yeah.
which has been torn down. That's the Methodist church behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I didn't feel good that day.
No.
Mail pouch.
That's pretty cool costume. A lot of work
Yeah.
went into that.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody's having to crawl on all fours to walk underneath that.
Well, I think there's
They're very
standing up.
short. You think they were just
I think,
short?
I think it's this person standing,
They're not very tall.
and then maybe there's some wheels in front of them.
Well, it could be very light, made out of paper or balsa wood.
I wonder where that barn was. It had the old mail pouch ad on it. But there it went.
Keith, you remember Keith Tingley, honey?
Another name.
Looked like Mrs. Hall, taught English, Miss Hall, but not sure.
Let me see if I got any comments. Maureen Deaver Purcell says it's Mrs. Van Voris. And then she says, nope, I'm wrong.
I don't
I
think
don't
it
think
is.
so.
And then Judy Wright says, could that be Janet Shelton?
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't think it is Janet Shelton. This was across from Ben Franklin's where that may be Boyd Henderson. Didn't he work over there for, isn't that Boyd and his wife, Kelly Williams' sister? Yeah, that's Boyd Henderson and his late wife died of cancer, I think. Nobody identified that?
No. Could be Boyd.
First wife. Dr. Lossman. And
Haven't you seen that picture?
yeah, we've seen this one. Garland Stroll.
We've seen all of them. We just went through quickly.
Now,
Oh.
now we're going to go just a little slower. See
And
if you can
Dr. Lossman.
spell
I don't.
it.
Charles Chubb Connor says, yep, Snuffy Hawkins.
Yep. Jack Wellens and Bill Roach.
Rudy Huber had that one.
That's Miss Brown on the right. Wayne Brown cut hair at the Hotel Douglas. That's his wife.
Linda Brown.
And I think it's Miss Carlson on the left, but I'm not sure. Betty Carlson.
Could be.
That's the Alexander married Albin, Dale Albans, I think. Lenita Ashwell. And Peggy Weber married Daryl Price. We saw her yesterday at Bill.
Oh, yeah.
We saw her at,
Bill Kleiss's funeral.
Becky and I went to Bill Kleiss's funeral yesterday, and Peggy was there. Talked to Daryl, told me they're living in assisted living in Urbana now. He said the food's horrible.
Greg Albritton says Peggy Weber on the right. Is that Diane Oak, second from left? And Janice Moody says yes. Kathy Alexander album on the left, question mark, asked Luann Hoy.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's who that is.
Daryl Price says that's a really cute chick on the far right.
Yes, yeah. Daryl's longtime wife. You know him, our neighbor across the street, Larry Christine.
Oh, yeah. He's not there anymore.
No, but he was our neighbor.
Sure looks different.
Those glasses always gave him away. We don't know that one.
Still
Looks like Vera Tag on the left, but I'm just wild guessing.
There's some interesting artwork on the door in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where that is.
An old picture of the bank. That
See this building back here?
Uh-huh.
I think that's the building that Paige and Nancy Harris had a floor shop for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Do you remember a floor shop in the
Uh-huh. And then
60s?
I think it became a dress shop or something.
Mhm.
this picture was taken in 1956.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was down there that I modeled some of the clothes.
Mhm. Who's up there? Let's see. We got Vic Stinger, real estate.
And this was Dr. Steiner.
Oh, it's Walter Steiner. You're right. Walter G. Steiner, before he had his
Yeah.
Yeah.
Office over on Main Street, Sale Street.
So
Keep on
Dr.
going.
so
Lossman was up there, I think.
Motors.
Osman was up there, and they had a guy named Getz, I think, was a dentist up there.
Dr. Maddox was up there when I was
Yeah,
probably in high school.
beautiful, beautiful building.
Dr. Steiner was on the corner.
Beautiful building. City's worked hard to
Keep it.
keep it going. Way back when they put a new roof on, and they've Jerry Reynolds, Jim Higgins, and I, for about 2 or 3 years after the vault was going to close as an art gallery, we jumped in to keep it open. Thought it was important for Tuscola. Ran it for 2 or 3 years, and it's switched management 2 or 3 times, but the city's been very generous in low rent
Yep.
and helping improve the property. People think, well, that low rent's a good deal. Well, wait till you pay the heat bill in the winter.
Yeah.
We had a heat bill of $1,700, so one winter. But even there, the city's jumped in with a couple of Mitsubishi systems to get their heat bill down. So hats off to the city for recognizing what an asset the vault is. There's David back here in a Black Hawk helicopter. Zero in on your picture there and show Becky.
I can't really
Oh, you can't move it? Okay.
I can't zoom. I can go to
You can
See it, yeah.
You see him sitting back
Mhm. Yeah, I
there.
see him sitting in there.
Dave was in Afghanistan for 2
Yeah.
tours.
Yeah, I'm sure.
which
No,
is
Dave,
not
Dave-
true.
not true. Dave was always having to,
So
when
is
I
that-
kid, and everybody know I'm kidding.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
it's misinformation.
Because you're so convincing at times.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the truth.
Oh, I
and,
did. I wasn't always that convincing with juries, I'll tell you that.
I learned
not
early
su-
on to listen
I'm
to
not
it with
sure
them.
that everyone always recognizes that when you are making something up.
You know, Becky, when we dated in high school, then we dated in college, and then 25 years later, we dated again. Becky always says that whenever I talked about a subject, I was just so absolutely cocksure and convincing. It took her 3 or 4 days to realize I was always that way, whether anyone was talking about it or not.
Yeah.
So then she
So
started.
I
getting-
never believed anything.
So then she didn't believe anything. She went from believing everything to believing nothing.
Yeah,
Now she's kind of in between.
I would say if you, your odds are better if you believe nothing.
right.
Yeah. Well, I can't blame her.
Yeah,
Well, David, everything, no editor yet for your paper?
not yet.
Well, you're doing a good, are you working extra hard since there's no editor or not?
I'm doing a few more things. So yeah,
Well, hope you hire one, a good one.
I'm trying.
Are you gonna reach beyond the credentialed graduate and maybe find somebody that's really good at writing skills, that could do a good job, maybe somebody non-credentialed?
I've been talking to everybody who applies. So I
No,
can talk more about that off air.
okay. Colleen, retired from the health department, but maybe Colleen wants to, Mrs.
I didn't know she retired.
I think she did, but she was really good with the paper. She'd be a good editor. Okay. Anything you want to say, Dave?
Hi, Dave.
Hi. All right, that's our show for this week. We'll see you next week on Remembering Tuscola.